shot.
She want me, she on my body. Everywhere that I go, I be throwing her out. And it's too late night, yeah, they told me to stop it. I leave a block hot, no topping. For a while, got a pennies dropping. Tryna reach the top, nigga, no stopping. When I hit the play, it's the...
Alright, so this video has been a long time coming, honestly. PAX East was all the way in March. And I was supposed to get this video done for y'all right after PAX East, but I am so sorry for the procrastination. But I'm here and I'm able to give you guys an official review on what I thought of PAX East 2024, my thoughts on it. Am I gonna go back next year? The good, the bad, the little ugly, and yeah, just my general thoughts of PAX East in Boston. Will I be going back next year? And I will give you guys the dates for next year's PAX East, because it is different from when it was in March. So I will be giving you guys a official review of PAX East. So without further ado, let's get this review started. First thing first, before I get into the review, I'd like to thank my cameraman, my little brother, my biggest supporter right here. He was the one who got a lot of the footage that I needed from PAX East. He was able to walk around and record some footage for me, so please thank him. So the first thing I could tell you all about PAX East is there are a lot of expos, as you can tell, just from this clip right here. But there's a lot of expos and a lot of things that you're able to get into. So my first thing that I would say is make sure you bring a comfortable pair of shoes, because you will be walking a whole lot around PAX East and just around this venue. The venue is pretty big, and this is just one side of it. So with all that walking that you end up doing at PAX East, of course you're gonna get hungry. So this is just one of the stations that I ended up recording, just a couple of people working on the food that they have here at PAX East, and this is just one section. There's plenty of other sections that have a different variety of food, and the pricing was pretty fair, as you can see right here. $11, $4 for some fries. So like, I couldn't be mad at the pricing, and the quantity of food that they gave you was pretty good also. So as far as food goes, I give the food probably like a 6 out of 10 at PAX East, maybe even a 7. But yeah, I didn't really have too much of an issue with pricing on food, or just the food in general at all. One of the things that I look forward to the most at PAX East is being able to go to different vendors that sell video games at the event. Because me personally, I collect a lot of PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 titles. So I'm always looking forward to seeing the different vendors and what they have for sale and what I don't have in my collection that I desperately need to add. So yeah, this is just one of the vendors that was there, and this guy has been there since I was at PAX East in 2022. But the only thing that I would say is a down to this is not that many vendors were there at PAX East 2024. It was just about the same as what it was in 2022. So I want to say it was about like 4 different vendors that sold video games, and he might have had the most out of PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, and all of the other titles. He had the most, and the other vendors were kind of, it was like almost like a flea market type of thing, where you pick a game out, hopefully it's inside the case, and if it is there, you kind of bargain with the guy to make a deal. So I want to say this is probably the most professional, you want to say professional, as far as like being able to fish out what game you want and having it CIB and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say it's a con that they don't have as many video game vendors at PAX East, because I always look forward to collecting more video games into my collection. So I did fish out a couple of games that I wanted to end up buying from this vendor, but I just wish that there were a couple of more vendors, that way I had some more options to buy some more games. So as we know, Tekken 8 is already out, and it's a really good fighting game, and it kind of proved that this year, being the host of PAX East, as far as like a main stage tournament goes, and just people being able to sit down and watch this tournament. This was basically in the middle of the venue for everybody to be able to watch and enjoy. And if you were good enough, you were in this professional tournament on the main stage, being displayed by everybody watching you play. So this is just a little footage of the tournament. I'm not too sure on who won the whole tournament, but yeah, this was pretty dope to see.
Yo, Juve.
So as you can see, that main stage looked pretty serious for the professional players in Tekken. But the one thing they did do in this tournament was let people of the public sign up and have a public tournament. And if you won in this public tournament, then you were able to make it on the main stage. So this is where it all went down at. As you can see, there's a bunch of different PCs that were being set up and everything. I wish I would have read the rules a little bit more. Me and my cousin would have read the rules a little bit more, who you're going to see on the video coming up. Because when we got there, we had to get a controller, but the controller that we were given was PlayStation 4 controllers. Not only were they PlayStation 4 controllers, but we play on Xbox. So I'm so used to playing on an Xbox controller that I was assuming that they would have other different types of controllers. But nope, we were stuck to playing on a PlayStation 4 controller. And the rule for the public tournament was if you lose 2 games, you are out. But if you won a game, you continued. But I believe you had to win about maybe 4 to 6 matches in order for you to make it to the main stage. So we joined up on the tournament. The first guy I faced, he used Victor as a main. I ended up losing to him. I think I might have got 1 round and then he washed me after that. So the next person I ended up playing, I ended up defeating him convincingly too. And I had King. I'm a King main. Yeah, I know. So I ended up defeating him convincingly. And then I faced one more other person, beat that person, and then I had one more other person. So I probably had like 2 more matches to probably make it to that main stage. And the last person that I faced, I forget what character they ended up using against me, but they absolutely destroyed me. I want to say they used Jen. I'm not too sure. It's a blur, but yeah, I didn't make it to that main stage, unfortunately, but your boy was pretty close. And as far as my cousin goes, well, I mean, you'll see the results right here as far as how far he made it. This was his last opponent that he ended up having to face in the tournament. I forget what he asked me, but he asked me something. And yeah, he ended up losing his match also. But all in all, we did have a lot of fun in this tournament. Alright, now let's get to the moment that we all been waiting for. Let's talk about the games at PAX East that I ended up playing. So this is one of the first games I played, which is Big Boy Boxing. Me and my little brother took turns playing this game, and essentially what this game is, it's another version of Punch-Out, or Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I want to say. And the game was pretty smooth. I had no issues playing the game at all. It took me a minute to kind of figure out the controls as far as like ducking and dodging and not being hit by that guy on the side with the golden glove right there and the blonde hair. But once I kind of got the rhythm and the flow of the game and what you were supposed to do, I started to enjoy it a lot more. Now, the only downfall about this game is I believe the person who developed this game or helped develop it, the dev team said that this game will be releasing, I want to say next year, October maybe, or I want to say next year October. So there's a long release date for this game. But as you can tell, we were both enjoying the game pretty much. And we grabbed a couple of souvenirs that they ended up giving us. So I really think that the game, for me, if I had to rate this game that I ended up playtesting and trying, I'd say this game is a smooth 8 out of 10 for what it is, you know? It's a good game. Okay, so another fighting game that we were able to play was Shot 1. Now, this game is actually a pretty good fighting game. If I had to compare it to any other fighting game on the market right now, it would be Street Fighter, I would say. Unfortunately, during the playtest though, we were only able to use 1 character, and it was the same character for each fighter. But as far as just being able to string up a different variation of combos and just being able to kind of figure out how the game mechanics work. It was very smooth. There was really no lag, no issues with that. So I was pretty happy at that, and I asked the development team when this game was expected to be released, and they said early next year. So hopefully this game does come out early next year, because I do think it has some potential. But as far as a rating, I give this game a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for this game. So Pen City is a VR game that me and my brother ended up trying out, and this was both of our first time trying VR. So it was pretty awkward and new to us, but I don't know how he felt about the VR, because he kind of just kept tossing the ball on the gutter, so I don't think he enjoyed it as much as I did. But I would say that the VR headset and the bowling mechanic, it's kind of awkward at first, but once you get the hang of it, I can get used to playing bowling VR. Like it's crazy how realistic everything is in video games right now. But one thing I could say is I genuinely enjoyed playing Pen City, and it made me kind of want to think about getting a VR headset. So as far as just a rating goes, for Pen City, I'm gonna put it like 9 out of 10, because I had a lot of fun. Actually, I honestly had a lot of fun. It was a little nerve-wracking not taking the joystick and like throwing it into the TV, which I didn't, but yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this. Oh, so let's talk about this next game here, Evil Ludus. If I'm being honest about this game, it really wasn't my type of pace. It could be for somebody else, but Evil Ludus is a game that is a side scroller slash almost like a Telltale Walking Dead story, where you kind of make your own decisions in the game and they kind of shape and mold the story. But for me, this isn't my type of game that I would particularly play and pick up, but I did give it a chance. And when I did give it a chance, I still wasn't impressed. As far as the visuals go, yes, I am very impressed as far as how the aesthetic looks of the game and just the theme of the world, just the future vibe that they have going on in this game. Not bad at all. But as far as me kind of getting interested in a side scroller that's like a Telltale game, not really for me, because the action in the game is kind of push this button to get this action. It doesn't really make you feel like the actions that you're doing inside of the game are from you, if that makes any sense. But this is a clip of a guy right next to me that was playing and actually had a glitch towards the end of the demo. So he was dealing with that, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I wanted to put it inside the clip. But if I give this game an overall rating, I would definitely give this game a 4.5 out of 10 for me. Not my forte at all. So the next game on the list that I ended up playing at PAX East is 7 Days to Die. Now, 7 Days to Die was one of the games that I thoroughly enjoyed playing the most, and wish that I kind of was able to play a lot more, but there were other games to play. But one of the reasons why I really enjoyed playing this game is the fact that one of the guys on the development team, I believe his name was Chris, he explained to me that this game has always been out on console. It came out around the time the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One got released, but the problem with that is the PC version of the game has gotten way better upgrades and updates to the game that needed to be transferred over to console. So the version you're seeing me play right now is the version that is going to be on console that the PC version has right now that's updated. So this is just an updated version of 7 Days to Die, frame rates and everything, and I really did enjoy playing 7 Days to Die. Now, I've played this type of game before. I forget the other game that's very similar to 7 Days to Die, and I wasn't too impressed with those type of games, like a looter shooter type of game. Didn't really give me a scariness atmosphere in the game. But while I was playing this, although it wasn't dark out, I did feel as though that if I was to play this by myself at night, I could get a couple jump scares and get myself scared. As you can see, I fell through a hole just walking inside of a house. So there is some stuff that you can find enjoyment with these type of games. And me personally, I don't play too many looter shooters like that. So when I did play this game, I was thoroughly impressed. And I did ask him, would this game be out on Game Pass? They said that they're working on that right now. But yeah, shout out to the guy on the dev team that was walking me through this game and kind of just giving me a synopsis on what to expect once the game does fully release for the next gen consoles. That I can't give you a date on when it will release, because I don't even think he knew as far as a date goes on when this game will be released for the next gen consoles. But it did play and run as smooth as I hoped it would. But 7 Days to Die is definitely a game I'm probably going to end up not buying, but if it's out on Game Pass, I'll definitely give it a try day one. And depending on that price tag, I would see myself buying a game like this. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed playing 7 Days to Die. I wish I had some more time to kind of really get my hands on the game a little bit more and see what else the game had to offer besides, just the basic stuff that I got. And all of the stuff that you see me have in my inventory is what was given to me in the demo. So it wasn't like I crafted all of this stuff together and just made all of this, made a knife and stuff like that. Because in the original game, you have to craft these type of tools and stuff in order for you to be able to defend yourself. So I'm curious to see what this game is going to be like once it does fully release and we get all of the updates. And I'm all here for it and all here for the support of the new 7 Days to Die, because I do know that the old one is pretty boring, and it's not the same as what I was playing here. So hopefully once this game does release, a lot of people do tune in and end up playing this game, because I do feel like this game has a lot of potential to give some good content for people who like jump scares and stuff like that. So yeah, I give the game like an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Okay, so I saved the best game for last for y'all. Dustborn is a single player action game that I highly recommend people do play when the game drops in August. Now, my main thing with this game was the gameplay. The story is okay, but it doesn't really glue to me as much as the gameplay did. Now, when I played this, I kind of got like some Hi-Fi Rush type vibes from the game, but it also had its own spin on the game also, so I can't discredit it too much and just say it's another knockoff of Hi-Fi Rush. The gameplay mechanics are actually pretty good, and the line for this game was pretty long, so a lot of people wanted to play this game. So if I had to give a official review for this game, I would give this game a 8.5 out of 10. Okay, so we come to the end of the video, and I want to give you guys my honest opinion of PAX East. From somebody who's been to PAX East twice, I can officially say, if you've never been to PAX East before and you are into video games, you're into anime, you're just into video games in general, I would highly recommend you try going to PAX East and just enjoying it, and being able to experience what I was able to experience as far as being able to play games early, and get different merchandise from different vendors, and just being able to meet new people, and share the same type of love that you have with video games with them. So I would highly recommend going to PAX East if you have not been in your life. But as far as going every year and coming from a person who's from the Boston area, I wouldn't say that PAX East is something that I would go to every single year. What I plan on doing is missing next year's PAX East and then going to the one after that. Now, the good thing about next year's PAX East is it won't be held in March, because when this PAX East that recently just passed was being held in March, that meant that the weather was pretty terrible out here in Boston. And if you're not from the Boston area, you will be surprised as far as how cold it still is in the month of March around here. So we don't really know when spring is going to hit early for us. That's the unfortunate part about having PAX East in March. But the good thing is they did move PAX East to May, I'm going to say. May. So you're able to enjoy the weather now that it's being moved to May. And it also gives you a chance not only just to go to PAX East, but also get to explore Boston a little bit and get to see different sites that Boston has to offer, different bars and everything. As far as being able to navigate and figure out which places to go to, I would say PAX East does a pretty good job at being able to navigate different people on what bars they should go check out, that would accommodate the people that are in town for PAX East, honestly. So I think PAX East is definitely one of those things that you do not have to go to every year, especially because for me, like I said, I seen the same vendors that were there 2022. So I kind of know what to expect with PAX East. But if you've never been before, and like I said, you love video games just like me, I would say go. I would say go 100%. It does seem like that the move is to go every other year and not go every single year. That way you're not burned out. But like I said, big shout out to my little brother for being the cameraman for me and helping me give out this late review. I know he's gonna he's gonna be proud at the fact that I finally pushed out this review for y'all. But yeah, this is just a quick, I wouldn't say quick, but this is just a rundown on what my experience was at PAX East. Obviously, it could be different from a lot of other people. Like I said, I'm from the Boston area, so I kind of know what to expect as far as weather changes and just different things that you could be hit with as far as just, you know, going to PAX East. But yeah, highly recommend going if you've never been before. And if you have been before, you're an avid goer, I would say go every other year because you're not really missing too much. And the games that they do have there, it all depends on the vendors that are going to be at the event. Because one year they had Xbox, THQ, and a whole bunch of kind of well-known video game developers. And this year kind of seemed like it was more so a lot of indie developers, but we did have the main stuff that people normally go to a gaming convention for, tournaments, gaming lounge, food, different stuff like that. So honestly, for me, it's like a carnival for video games. And the next time I do go, instead of me making a review, I think the next time I go, I'm gonna kind of soak in the moment and enjoy everything as I go along, because this is my first official review for PAX East, but it's not my first time going to PAX East. So the next time I do go, I kind of want to just not really worry too much about content and just worry a lot about just being able to have fun and enjoy my time while I'm at PAX East. So now that we're towards the end of this, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe on this video. Like I said, this is my first official PAX East review. I will be doing another review for you guys, but that'll be within a year from now. Like I said, if you've never been to PAX East before, I would highly recommend. But if you've been to PAX East already, I would say wait every other 2 years. But make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm out of here. Peace.